There's a thin line between heroism and madness.
Here the line fades to nothing at all. This is a world of capes and lunatics.
And nothing is off limits.
Ooh, my left headphone, or my right headphone just came back to mine. Ah, there it goes. I got bad equipment.
It happens when you hit a certain age.
Yeah. Oh, upgrade, that's for sure.
Yeah, I got new headphones. Studio headphones.
Hey, look who's here! The founder of the feast.
El Capitan!
Ebenezer Scrooge himself.
Hey, here's the thing. Probably said Ebenezer Scrooge.
He is the
Just
founder
remember,
of the feast.
Scrooge became a good, nice guy after the show.
All right.
After the events, he became a good person.
Table that and do an introduction.
I was gonna say Lilith's doing the intro, and then Charlie has a fire brewing in him about a certain topic, so be prepared.
Yeah. So, but I know that
Hi,
Rob put his plugs.
Welcome to the hot mess that is Capes and Lunatics. Joining me as always are my three lovely boys, and joining us today is the founder of Southgate Media Group, our boss man, Rob Southgate. So everybody else do an intro.
I'm Charlie, the Professor Esser.
I'm Phil, just like keeping my head down. I'm the innocent bystander, Phil.
And your neighborhood friendly lunatic Lilith. So we're talking comic books. We're talking tangents as always.
He introduce himself.
Oh, go ahead, Rob. The man
Rob, Rob, we can't hear
Rob,
you.
You're on mute. That's why you're not being able to jump in.
Rob, you're pulling a jack. We can't hear you.
Is he frozen?
No, he's moving. I just can't hear him.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Our guest mime of the week, Robert Southgate.
He's doing his Black Bolt impression. It's amazing. Just convey it all with the eyes and the dyspepsia.
All of a sudden,
I'm gonna grab my key.
Wally's hair is gonna start moving. Black Bolt.
Yes, I could do that.
Does that make me the dog?
That's Lockjaw.
Oh, goodness.
All right, Crystal, take us in.
All right.
Wouldn't it be Capes and Lunatics if everything worked 100% right?
Yes.
It's why I'm the lunatic.
Yes.
Drives me insane. So where do you guys want to start? I did see some interesting news that I wanted to talk about real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Some random no-name comic book store says they don't want to carry the Marvel legacy.
Oh,
They're just doing it for publicity.
who said that?
Well, clearly.
What?
I mean, some people can be serious about the things that they
Yeah, but everything's going to be Marvel Legacy. So what are they saying? They're not going to carry Marvel Comics?
basically. Hold on, let me see which one it is. Where is it at?
Yeah, because that's a good business model for a comic book store.
Well,
I mean, you don't have to agree with them, but I mean, you're not going to carry Marvel.
No. What it is like, as Lilith said, it's a publicity stunt. Because first off, if you don't want to carry Legacy, then you just say, "Oh, we're not ordering those books." But if you go out and saying, "We will not carry Marvel Legacy," you're trying to get attention for your comic book store.
Yeah, it gets you
which I don't fault. You know, you need that work.
Yeah, but it gets you 15. It gets you 15 minutes of attention, but then you know, then your business is just going to be, you know, after everyone forgets.
Well, no, because they're not saying they're not going to carry Marvel Legacy. There's, as far as I mean, unless they're saying they're just going to stop carrying Marvel, like you said, what they're saying is, oh, we're not going to carry that, you know, short stream of one shots.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Know? And it's like,
cover.
Okay.
But the guy's name is Brian Hibbs. He owns 2 comic book stores called Comic Experience in San Francisco. Oh, yeah. So yeah, like, he just I found this article in the Hollywood Reporter.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah.
But I mean, there are some one shots for Marvel Legacy, but the ongoings are part of it too. So I don't know what they're talking about. If they're just talking about the one shots,
Legacy ongoings.
Well, like Amazing Spider-Man, Thor, all the books are going to be, they're going to renumber everything back to their original
but I don't
numbering.
think they're branded as Legacy. I don't think it's like
I thought everything was branded as Legacy. That's why we're going back to the original numbering. So it's Marvel Legacy. So
all right, how about now? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, what a nightmare! Hi, everybody.
Hi.
Hey, Rob.
Introduce yourself, sir.
Am I choppy? Do I sound okay?
No choppier than the rest of us.
Okay. Well, Lilith, you're super choppy on my end. That's okay. You're the flavor here.
That's the hangover.
That's Florida.
I haven't heard anything. I haven't even made my tagline. I'm having all sorts of internet issues, so bear with me if I drop out here and there. But I'm just here for the ride, guys.
Okay.
We're talking about a certain comic book store not wanting to carry Marvel Legacy titles.
What's that? What's up with that?
Publicity stunt.
Yeah, I mean, here's what I'll say about the Legacy titles. Either whether it's going to be the ongoing, here's what I'm going to say. Okay, it's another Marvel stunt. Marvel does stunts like this every year. Everyone does stunts like this every year. You can carry them. You order the books you want. That's how books work. You have a certain number that you get to sell through, and other ones that you're getting this severe discount for, but then you have to keep the books, And what they're saying is, okay, we're not going to order these books because we can't return them. And we just don't think they're going to be a seller. Which, okay, I guess is a thing. I think it's a bad choice to make because here's essentially, here's what I'm going to tell you, maybe they know their clientele, and maybe their clientele is just all up into Archie. Or DC.
We'll get there.
Or whatever. These are just this is just a bunch of folks who are just into Lion Forge, and they're saying we don't read those Marvel books anyway. Why are you gonna pay to carry that? But here's the thing: I think you can buy these things in like as little as 1 or 2 issues. I don't think you have to buy 20 issues.
You're talking the comic book store itself.
Yeah, the comic book, exactly.
That's correct. You can order from Diamond Select, and you can order in small lots. Although you don't know, they may have a deal where for Legacy, maybe they're saying we're trying to push this out, so you have to buy X amount of titles and X amount of each title or something, or maybe it's a minimum order of 300 books, and you go like, oh my God, forget it.
Yeah,
like I was saying, I know they're going back to original numbering for all most of the ongoings and stuff, but they are putting out some one shots of older titles. I think they're putting out a one shot of Darkhawk, Power Pack. What else? There's a few other ones where they're just doing one issue of it. But I have an inside source that said one of those one shots may turn into an ongoing though.
Yeah, well, I'm sure Power Pack. Obviously. It's their biggest name. They've made the deal with what's called Springform. Pushing Power Pack is really their next bold move. What they're doing is all the series that they're bringing back a bunch of series that were just popular enough and ended that they're going to bring them back. I don't think I don't think we're going to get. Oh, hey, if it gets us a Patsy Walker Hellcat, although I don't think she ever had an actual... No, actually, she did have an ongoing. It was just that bad ongoing that I didn't like.
Charlie Esser
killed Hellcat? Is it you?
You
didn't like it? You said, cancel this.
It was me. It was all me.
I thought so.
He started getting in the end. But you can't mention Patsy Walker without singing Charlie Sing.
It's Patsy. It's Patsy. She really wants to be your friend. Yes.
Sounds exactly like the Jessica Jones theme from Jones Cast.
Well, it is because that's from It's Patsy show. Although actually, and this is this thing which we went over before. In the show, when Jessica sings it, she sings it like I just did. When they actually did the show for the It's Patsy Teen Disney show, it was It's Patsy, she really wants to be your friend, and we didn't write any more lyrics. So that's that. So it's a much more hard rock thing. And what obviously they did is they
that sounded like a hard rock thing, Charlie. You're right.
No, well, you hear it with the guitars.
You're like the Scorpions, man. You rock.
You hear with the guitars, it's hard rock. But what my point is that they obviously wrote the show, shot the show, and then at the end, someone decided what the song was going to be. So Jessica had to sing the song when she sings it in her one scene where she sings it and kind of wings it with a much more kind of, it's Patsy, kind of thing that
Nerd
eventually
alert.
they moved away from. Hey.
That wasn't me this time.
Rob, if
I couldn't resist, I had to be Phil for a minute.
If we had a nerd alert, I don't think that would stop.
No, please.
I don't think, not for nothing, I actually don't think I'm the biggest nerd of the group.
Bazinga.
That's a topic for later. I think we should debate it out. We should do a pop culture countdown. Find out who the biggest nerd is here.
Yes.
Lilith.
Moving on. Did you guys see that Titans cast Starfire? And it's a black lady. And of course, don't look at the comments on any of the articles.
No.
Yeah, but I mean,
this is the thing with replacing African American actors with with gingers. Like it started when Willa Smith did Annie, and there's a thing.
Yeah, okay. But, I mean, who cares? Yeah, she's gonna be painted gold anyway. I mean,
I don't care. People just have like Wally West on The Flash, and you know what I mean. All these things.
Yeah. He's gonna say
from.
She's Tamarandian, so of course her actual natural color is Tamarand. So if you can't find someone who looks like the color of the spice Tamarand, you have to paint them. So it really didn't matter who they were going to cast.
Well, you can, but nobody wants Donald Trump to be cast.
Yeah. My only question is, are they going to have her have the speech pattern of Starfire from Teen Titans? The cartoon Teen Titans.
Let's say the in front of everything.
Yeah. No, because that's who Starfire is. It's like in the one flaw in Red Hood and the Outlaws last week is they made Bizarro smart. Oh. And it's like that's not who Bizarro is going to be. You can't have Bizarro be like, oh yes, quite so. I'm gargantuan in Pettigrew. You can't do that. And it disrupts who they are.
Kidding me? Are you kidding me? Don't make the Lilith is gonna kill you for talking about Red Hood and the Outlaws.
I'm just saying that
I don't enjoy take on Bizarro. So
wow.
I'm just saying that's who the character is, and what is lovable about them is that is part of who they are. Now, as a person who knows lots of people who come from languages who have different grammatical structures, it's really common for people that have problems with definite and indefinite articles, because if their language didn't have a definite or an indefinite article, like Russian, there is no difference in Russian between saying I'm looking for a redhead and I'm looking for the redhead. So when Russians speak English, they often will have that they have that the of this, because they're saying it is the this, because they know that English has these definite and indefinite articles, but their own language doesn't have such a differentiation. So I think it's important for a character like Starfire as the space. Here's what I'd say. I don't want Starfire to be Wonder Woman. I don't want Starfire to be Gamora. Okay? I don't want Starfire to be Raven even. She's not. She is a BA. She is a total tough gal who can kick the butt out of you. But she has to have her structure within who she is. She is a space princess. Okay? granted, a space princess from a really messed up world where they like eat their young and whatnot, but she is a space.
I think that's what's happening to Tyler right now too.
Yeah, well, no, his young is eating him.
He's off to go eat his young.
Trust me, watch Super Connectivity last night. You'll see what that's like. Yeah,
the girl that they cast for.
Well done, Phil.
Thank you.
So Lilith, you were saying something.
I mean, I guess I have to see how but the actress herself looks like to be the oldest cast member yet, and it's like I know it's not Teen Titans, it's Titans, but still, I was just like,
she's from a different planet. Ages are different.
But
yeah,
their teen years could last like 200 years.
that's actually true. You know, it's like Kes from Voyager.
Voyager.
Well, I mean,
I
that's
like Voyager.
Oh, you mean Voyager, the number 2 Star Trek show?
whoa!
You mean that's how they got around Superman looking so young on Supergirl is because he's Kryptonian. They age slower.
Which is true. That makes sense.
It does make sense. It's one of those things they said it. And I was like, I'll buy it. I'll go with it.
Yeah, the only problem with that theory is that then he should have been a teenager for like 20 years.
Well,
you know,
that all goes to like if you look at it like in Smallville, where his powers were developing over time as he was exposed to the sun instead of all at once. It all is how you look at the growth.
There, Jonathan. Yes. Yes. Yeah, I mean, yes, but in truth, actually, most species don't have an exact 1-to-1 ratio of their aging. So, like cats, or cats or dogs, they say, 1 year is 7 years. Well, actually, no, they're like their first 2 years are like, like their first 2 years they get to be 20, and then they just slow down until they get old, and then they're just old.
What happened to me? I was young for about 3 years, and I've been like this, exactly like this, for the past 47.
Well, that's good. That means that you slow down the aging process, so you can stay like that.
Yeah. The sad thing is, when I hit the other end of it, it's going to be like 2 years. It's going to be like 49, 300. Boom.
Exactly. Well, you're going to be like Alexandra. You're going to be like Alexandra in the Defenders. It's just you're going to keep on going, and then it's like, yep, the doctor says, nope, I've never seen anything like this. You got no blood left.
I finally finished, and I'm whelmed. I'm officially whelmed.
You're whelmed?
My friend's Justice reference.
But I was saying, good Justice Robin reference. I use that all the time. People are like, what? I'm like, look, I'd be whelmed for me overwhelmed.
Or underwhelmed. I'm not saying I'm underwhelmed. I'm just whelmed.
That's
They better fix him in his second season. Like I like the character of Iron Fist in the comic books. I don't know what the hell they're doing on that show.
Yeah, they've got that wrong. They've made a mistake with Iron Fist. But I'll tell you what, I've only watched the first episode of Defenders so far. I loved it. I thought, well, I'm a Daredevil guy. Daredevil walks in. I'm like, hell yeah, this is right. Jessica Jones owns it at this point. So,
though Daredevil isn't even in the first episode.
Matt Murdock.
Yeah, that's not Daredevil. That's a central conceit of the show, just to make a point.
Okay.
I'm still waiting for my scene where Luke Cage tries to he tried to seduce Alexandria just so we could have every woman on the show been with Luke Cage. And
hey, you know what? I was watching it. I think I was with Luke Cage. I think I got every one of us. How great is he in that role, though? I mean, he's perfect. You know what? There's the crossover. I want to see him and Mac on Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. have to go into like a cage match. Cage match! Be awesome.
There's I don't want to spoil it for Rob. I don't want to spoil it for Rob, but there's a scene at like towards the end of this episode 3 where I'm just like, oh yeah, we needed a Heroes for Hire series with Luke Cage and Iron Fist.
Oh, we totally do. Although they got to, they have to get Heroes, or they have to get Iron Fist correct before they do that. Otherwise, this is not worth it. They still didn't have it. I didn't even make it through Iron Fist. I made it partway through, and I'm like, you know what? I'll end up watching it, but it's not the character.
Didn't you eventually get through season 1 of Arrow? If you can get through season 1 of Arrow, you can get through season 1 of Iron Fist.
No, I don't know about that. Season 1 of Arrow,
I couldn't get
there
through
were some exciting
Arrow,
things.
so.
There were some exciting things in season 1. Yeah, it was a bit of a train wreck, but there were some exciting things. Although I will tell you this, Lilith, season 1 was bad enough that I never went to season 2.
Oh, that's where it gets good.
Yep. So
that's classic.
That's
season.
what we always tell you.
I promise I will start that up. I just binged the hell out of Rick and Morty. So that's what I've been watching.
You and Charlie.
Charlie, Rick and Morty is the greatest. You are right. Is it going to be the thing like the defining cartoon in 20 years from now, like you said? No, you are off your nut.
No. Let me tell you something. Rick and Morty is great. No, the defining cartoon of this era.
Yep, off your nut.
Venture Brothers is actually Venture Brothers.
No, it's not. But
no, I've been rewatching Venture Brothers. I realized how well written and produced that is.
Okay,
that is a show that you can pick up. Go watch the. Here's what I'm gonna say. I haven't gone back and watched Rick and Morty's much since I binged through it. But Venture Brothers, I just pick it up, and it is so seamless, no matter where I pick it up.
Okay, so I'm going to say something about that, Charlie. Sorry to hijack your show, but that's what's going to happen. You invited me on. So first of all, I'm a big animation guy. I totally agree with you. Venture Brothers is amazing. Rick and Morty is really great. And it was unexpectedly great for me. So I have been just enjoying the hell out of it. But when you're talking defining cartoon, no, I'm sorry. I don't know if we're going to actually have that because there is such a glut of this right now that anybody could make the argument. You could make the argument that Bob's Burgers is it because Bob's Burgers is so well written and so well done. You could say Family Guy. You'd be wrong, but you could say Family Guy.
No.
If you say American Dad, personally, I will come to your house, punch your nose because you don't know what comedy is.
American Dad, I think so much better. You can say.
No, I like how we keep slowing down Lilith's internet connection whenever she's going to make a point.
What I'll say, here's what I'll say about Bob's Burger. I think the Bob's Burgers Archer crossover was
you can
probably
say Archer is a defining one too. Archer is friggin' great.
Archer's really good.
BoJack Horseman's another great one. Love it.
Oh, BoJack. Okay, yeah. So there we go. BoJack. See, I don't even think about BoJack Horseman as a cartoon. That's how good BoJack Horseman is.
Okay, first of all, Charlie, he's a talking horse. I just want to put that out there. I think your reality,
Mr. Ed wasn't a cartoon.
Sketchy.
Exactly.
Mr. Ed wasn't a cartoon.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you for making.
Of course.
Of course.
And I remember when he walked upright and wore clothes like that. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
he did wear a hat in one.
I think he once wore glasses too.
Did they put peanut butter in BoJack's mouth to make him talk? You know how they did that to the horses and it makes them and they try to lick.
Whiskey.
That's what you do with a Lil, right?
That's exactly when we do live shows at Blue Box and he gets sleepy. I just put peanut butter in a Lil's mouth and it looks like he's talking, and I just do my impression of him. Hi, I really hate everything DC. I love Marvel. A Lil, I can't wait to share this with a Lil. This is going to be one of those clips I send him, and he's going to be like, "I hate you."
Yes.
Did you guys see the picture Chris and I took yesterday? We were at Wizard World, and Chris Mao from the Blue Box and I were when we had a mandate.
Shirts.
What'd you say?
No, somebody cosplaying you. That's the one I saw.
Oh, was that the best ever? And then we told people in Artist Alley, and then Gary, his name is Gary. Gary would be like right behind us, and you'd hear people like down the aisle start laughing because they'd see him like right after me. They're like, "Oh my God, you're right."
People will cosplay as anyone, especially that guy from Jingle All the Way. Jeez.
There was a picture of Chris and I found somebody dressed as Baymax. We took a picture of the three of us. We're like, "Hey, come see Chris, Rob, and Lil down at Wizard World." Lil didn't find it funny, but his wife did. So.
Yes.
Did you read any comic books this week, sir?
Me?
Yeah. I know you're busy.
I'm super busy. I've been watching Rick and Morty.
Nice.
Hey, you know what? I want to play Pop Culture Countdown with you guys for that, which is the defining cartoon, because I want to hear if you guys think that if we can determine the top 3 out of all those we named. But as far as comic book goes, Lilith, we can do that later. We got time.
I have two.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll
try and
questions I want to ask. I have two questions I want to ask before this show because my internet's screwing up on me. Two. One, Rob, I see you have the Tick behind you. Has anyone started watching the Tick?
I saw the pilot.
I saw the pilot and it was amazing.
I started watching episode 2 yesterday, and I'm going to try to watch it this weekend so we can talk about it next week.
Okay.
And then my other point before I lose signal, I just wanted to ask and throw out there, especially if towards Lilith, did anyone see the thing where Warner Brothers is discussing having DC-based movies that are not in the DCEU coming out?
That's why I'm here to talk. I can't wait.
Yeah,
I hate the DCEU. I freaking hate that.
Is that the way to get around Affleck though? Affleck.
Well, here's my thing, real quick, is the whole idea they've talked about with Justice League was supposed to be a soft DCEU reboot. That's why they've done the rewrites. That's why they changed things to move it away from what they had created. And now I'm like, I got to explain to Solomon, we have TV Flash and we have movie Flash. But then I'm going to have to explain, we have other movie Flash and other movie I just think that they need to take the DCEU, do the soft reboot that they did with Justice League and the idea with Wonder Woman, use it, and then after that kind of runs its course, go back to making individuals because they'll burn their property out and really oversaturate their market.
I don't think we need a Joker movie, though. I damn sure don't think we need a Joker and Harley Quinn. I'm tired of Leto. I love Leto.
Can I just say,
if they did a Joker movie, what they should do is it starts out where Batman captures the Joker. They sit down, they do like a killing joke, and then it cuts back after the movie to the Joker just looking at you and smiling, going, "That's one way I like to tell my story." And then it cuts to black, where basically everything you just watched is like a Usual Suspects. It was all just his blowing smoke up your butt.
Look in the dictionary. On the DCEU in the dictionary is literally a hot mess.
Yes. Here's what I'm going to say. The flop sweat on the DCEU. You could float the arc on it. Although I got to say to Tyler, listening to you talk to you, saying how are you going to explain to your son that there's 3 different Flashes? I'm just thinking, man, and folks thought explaining gay marriage to their kids was going to be hard.
Well, I mean, they had that huge argument where people were like, well, the idea of having like the TV universe and then the movie universe was confusing to people. And I mean, now you're going to introduce a second movie genre universe, so to speak.
No, wait a minute. Think about it. You're saying a second movie universe, but I've also read that they have said that this Joker movie may have nothing to do with Matt Reeves' Batman movie, which means now you have 3 universes, okay? And
the Matt Reeves thing.
Wait, and Shazam is not tied to him either. 4 movie universes. Let's say all of them are successful. You now have 4 DC universes in the cinema.
Okay. And here's what
they
I'm
just
going to say.
Hold on. They want to be the lazy Marvel universe. They don't want to have to worry about continuity.
No.
Matt Reeves even came back and said his film is in the DCEU. And you know what I say to that? I'll wait till I go see it in theoreters. Because I'm so sick of rumors.
What they're doing is they're being 1970s Marvel Cinematic Universe. Which is that you could theoretically
but they can't because Marvel already got Hasselhoff in a movie.
Yes, but you could say so. Like for example, there was recently a thing where apparently there was supposed to be a movie crossover between the Hammond Spider-Man and the Ferrigno Bixby Hulk. Yeah, that there was something that was in the works, but it never came to pass. And it's a beautiful idea, and I personally have been a proponent for the idea of.
Charlie, are you sure that wasn't a rumor that I started on Nuff Said? Because that sure sounds like one half-baked idea that I would say.
No, actually, apparently it's in.
It was on CBR.
Yeah, it was. I couldn't tell from reading if it was in Hammond's autobiography or Ferrigno's autobiography or Bixby's autobiography. But basically, someone was saying, yeah, there was this whole conversation, and then nothing ever came of it. And the thing is but the idea is that, yeah, you can have that disconnected universe. You can have a universe with, so Wonder Woman's over here and Batman's over there. And what you can do is you can merge and unmerge as needed. So, for example, right now Sony is doing. We're gonna have our Sony verse. That's not the Spider-Man verse, but we're gonna have a Venom, and we're gonna have Black Cat and Silver Sable, and what other B-listers we can in that universe. But the fact of the matter is, they're gonna set it up in a way that if they need to, they can sneak over. And that's what everyone, And of course, once you start having multiple actors and multiple things, but for DC, that's baked in. Because DC starts off with, there was the Golden Age DC universe, Earth 1, and then there was Earth 2, and then we have all the other Earths we've had since.
Tyler, do you live in Arkham Asylum? Because, good Lord, there is so much going on over there.
Arkham Nursery, anyway.
Hey, let's not forget that DC did a crossover first. Technically, they crossed over Superman and Supergirl.
Well, technically,
those movies are connected.
Technically, Superboy visited Earth 1 when he went to the world
I'm saying
Superman came in the 1940s and was good friends with.
But I mean, the films. Talking about film universe.
Yeah. Well, so am I. I'm talking about the actual Superboy TV show, where they actually went to the many worlds option. So DC
universe is different than TV universe. Tyler, you have a point. Supergirl is connected. Phil, does this make you the little guy that Benny Hill hits when you play that? But you're right, Tyler. Supergirl and Superman were tied together. At that point, it was all garbage, but they were tied together there.
Because Christopher Reeve was supposed to appear at the end, but they got Mark McClure, and there we go.
Oh, yes. Oh, it's so bad. Oh, I love that movie, too. It's so bad.
Which movie is that?
Supergirl. Oh, come on.
Supergirl,
that is not a good movie. But it towers over the final Superman movie. Oh, my God.
Oh, be right back. Gotta go take care of a baby.
They should have used
you just insulted Tyler.
No, the last Superman movie was bad, but it has a fond place in my heart just because it was on TV constantly. Yeah. And my grandparents didn't have a VCR. So
I'll just say it's no Superman 3.
I like awful movies, and I wear it proudly. That is an awful movie, but I stand with you, Tyler. I'm going to make a T-shirt. I stand with Tyler.
You can find all those Superman movies. You cannot find Supergirl. I mean, they buried that thing. I mean, you really.
Oh, dude, I found a used copy for $26. $26 a used copy on DVD because it's so rare at a buybacks. All right, I gotta go change this diaper.
Yeah, I personally did not think Supergirl was that bad.
I hope so.
As superhero films go from that history.
You're the worst, Phil.
It was, you had an interesting concept, and it explored it, and then it ended. It had a protagonist and an antagonist.
Are you making a defense for Superman? Which one are you making a defense for, Charlie?
Oh, he loves Superman 3.
Oh, Superman 3. No, Superman 3 was the finest Superman film ever made.
No, you are out of your gourd. I will take you down, Charlie. That was not a good film.
I'm sorry. Everything that's good about Superman is in Superman 3 more than it is in any other Superman film.
That's our special.
You have Superman's... You have just the fact that the greatest superpower is money. That money is the one power that Superman has no weapon against.
Shouldn't Batman already taught him that?
Yeah.
Well,
no,
this was
it's not a good film. That was
this was before Batman. This is where all the great ideas in Superman lore come from, with Superman 3. And then other people, they did it better when they did it. But all the original ideas, like, oh, that's a great idea. They should have executed it better.
Yeah, okay, so if you're going by concept, okay, you can make an argument for the concept. But come on, that movie, as a movie, horrible direction, horrible acting, horrible everything in it. Dumb.
No, I think Richard Pryor's character is amazing.
No, Richard Pryor is not amazing in it, and I love Richard Pryor, and he was not amazing in that. He was basically like, "Here, go act like a goof on screen," and he did. When you really think about what's happening in that movie, his character makes no sense, and what's going on makes no sense. It's as bad as Doofus in the first Superman. Ned Beatty, I loved the character when I was younger, but I'm telling you, man, What a dumb character and what a waste of time.
Ned Beatty's
Waste
character
of space.
is a doofus.
Jar Jar Binks effect.
Gus Gorman.
But you know what?
Richard Pryor's character
Pryor's
is
the
a
Jar Jar
genius
Binks
who
here,
never
too.
got the opportunity. And the second he gets the opportunity to understand something, his true genius gets revealed. And that's the point
You're
of
talking
Gus
Richard
Gorman.
Pryor.
Yeah, whose character's name is Gus Gorman, who is...
Right, because Richard Pryor went, this script is so stupid, I'm going to improvise a scene where I know something because, damn, this is bad.
But what the character's prime motivation is, he is a super genius who never... who's never encouraged. Yeah, he is a super genius who never had an opportunity. Then the second he learns about computers, suddenly everything we see today about, I'm the supercomputer hacker, that's all back to Gus Gorman. That's all back to that character who's like, this is a machine. And once you learn how a machine works, you can put it back together any way you want.
Somebody look this up. Which came out first, War Games or this?
I was going to say he's blaming Richard Pryor for Felicity Smoke.
Well, that might be accurate.
Well, what I'm saying is, and War Games may have come first. This was in the zeitgeist. I'm not saying that. But I'm saying,
wait a minute. That just defeats your argument.
To impose it as a superpower. To impose it as a superpower. To make you a villain. To make you a super villain.
Okay, so Office Space got inspiration from
that. Special
that
between
comes from 3. Okay.
You know what? And I am ill prepared, and I still think I can take you down. But if I watched it, you would be done, Charlie, because you're not going to get past me on this. And I will also tell you that I like bad things. I have a phrase: awesome and awful together make awesome, and I love awesome things. Right? I know it's a surprise. I have some kind of catchphrase, right? Yes. But I love awful things, and if it was on today, I would probably watch Superman 3. But I know in reality, it blows. And
here's what else.
Can I just throw something out there? I have no idea what we missed. I just want to throw something out there. You were talking about the DCEU.
diaper? Okay, please.
Yeah. Let me throw this diaper. If you look at it,
Well,
the
two sound
DCEU
effects, that's one of them.
we're 4 films in. Okay. We have 2 misses, 1 hit, and 1 medium film. But like if you look at the first 4 films of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, you had what? A hit, a kind of hit.
Wait. Are you talking
kind of miss?
What are you calling by hit and what are you calling by miss?
Well, I mean, for which one?
For Marvel. Are you saying
Marvel?
Okay,
I mean,
Iron
you had
Man's a
Iron
hit.
Man. Yes. Incredible Hulk was kind of a hit.
It's a good film
because
I
now
liked
everybody looks back at it now and hates it.
No, not everybody.
Like it's the one that nobody talks about.
No, that's because Iron Man overshadowed it. But Hulk is a good film. The first one with Eric Bana is a terrible film. Iron Man 2 is not as bad as people thinks. The problem is it was too corporate and they jammed too much stuff in. DC everything. Hold on, I'm joking. But I would call that not a hit.
Past that.
You can't compare Iron Man 2 to either of those later Superman movies. Those are cinematic crap. Wow, I had to censor that one.
Oh, yeah.
But Iron Man
Superman
2 is actually better. It's just it's not great. It's not as good as some of the other stuff. But I'll make the argument Avengers 2 wasn't that great either. I was bored, and I still contend that it's not that great. Ultron has lips.
One of the creepiest, scariest villains ever was Ultron, and it has bad
he had those
mocap,
creepy lips.
And I say it's bad mocap because if you look at a movie like Chappie that came out around the same time, how amazing that mocap looked for that robot.
But how bad that movie is. Ooh.
Yeah. See.
Yeah, we're not talking the movie. We're just talking the CG.
Okay.
But then you have a movie that's like Ultron that should be like the most scariest villain that should really freak us out because of how much we rely on computers, and we have he
came from Gus Gorman or whatever his name is. It all goes back to him.
There you go. Which villain are you discussing, Tyler?
Ultron.
Oh, Ultron. Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, the cool thing about Ultron. See, I liked Age of Ultron. I mean, any of these films. Here's what I'm going to tell you. Any film produced today that is a superhero film is better than anything pre 80s Batman. So you're going to take Superman 1. It's a great film. But if you're going to tell me that that's really better than Avengers Age of Ultron, I'm going to say, I don't know. Because first off, you're going to say, oh, well,
you don't
that's a
want to
whole
hear
nother
what I have
argument.
to say about that. I love
that's
Superman
a whole
first
nother
Superman. I love that first Superman, but I got to tell
Superman
you,
1.
if you watch it critically, it has a lot of flaws. It has pacing issues. It has logic issues. Him spinning the world back is enough of a deal breaker that I have a problem with the whole thing. Do I like the film?
Too.
Absolutely. Do I hate when he flies Margot Kidder over the city? Oh, yeah. Especially since we almost get a shot of her underwear, and I'm like, no, please. But it's not as good as we remember, but for the time, it was brilliant.
Well, exactly.
Kind of like, you're going to hate, people are going to not like me saying this, it's kind of like Episode 4 from Star Wars. For us, that's a touchstone. That's our Vietnam. We'll never forget. But compared to Empire, it's not even close to as good a film. We watched Episode 4 in our house. My daughter was bored. Kids get bored by it because now they see things that are paced better, that have better motion. And Molly is all about story. Star Wars has a super simple story, the very first one especially. Superman, super simple. They try to make it complex, but really when you boil it down, it's like, there's really not a lot going on here. I was a bigger fan of Superman 2, but man, that can get boring in spots too. That has issues. Both of those films are really good. I like them. They're really good for me, but they're not great films. Not
modern
the way we remember them.
Pathos, and that's the problem. Like, I don't emotionally connect with a lot of movies made after, like, say, 2004.
And I don't think
superhero movies.
Specifically, yeah.
And I don't think they I don't think they completely understood the character of Superman or even his powers in those movies.
Oh, clearly.
The big S off his chest.
When he throws a cellophane S, they need to just stop.
Laser beams out of his
Richard
fingers.
Lester.
This is what I'll tell you. This is what I call the biblical conundrum. This is the biblical conundrum. So, the Bible.
The biblical conundrum. Here he goes.
No. The Bible is one of the best-selling books ever. People will always quote the Bible, all this kind of stuff. The Bible is pretty cliche as a story. It drags on just pages and pages, just nothing really going on in it. And they're all just these really basic morality tales that don't really make a lot of sense when you really think about them critically. But it was like one of the first works of great literature. And you see this anytime you look at anything from the past. It's the first time someone said, hey, what if we made this? Which is why, to tie it all back to Superman 3, why, even though it's not a good film, I will say it's good because it gives inspiration for things afterwards that people never consider that's where that inspiration comes from. So when you read the Bible...
That's like saying Batman and Robin's a good film because it inspired us to do better and make Batman Begins.
I was going to say, you got to hit rock bottom before you go up.
That is rock bottom.
Batman and Robin was a return to what had been done before in the 60s, but you can't go back to the original 60s Batman. That's lightning in a bottle. That was a great concept that was done there. Now, you could revisit it like they did in Batman 66. You can revisit in other genres, but you can't take something that's been going somewhere and take it backwards.
Wait.
Because that's what makes it bad.
Wait. You can defend Superman 3, but I will be... You're trying to defend Batman and Robin? How dare you, sir?
No, I'm
Hang
not
your head in
defending
shame.
Batman and Robin. I'm saying Batman and Robin isn't inspirational to make a better film. I'm saying Batman and Robin isn't breaking new.
I wouldn't wipe my butt with Batman and Robin. Come on,
establishing something new. So, like the Bible, if you actually would have
the Bible.
So if someone gave you the Bible,
Batman and Robin's like the Bible.
No.
That's at Charlie Esser.
Like the Bible. What I'm saying is, if you take something that's from the past and try to judge it by modern standards, like if you were to judge it independently, you are going to judge it by how much it reflects our modern sensibilities of what a good story is. Now, when you look at something like Batman and Robin, it's about going back to something in the past. not about thinking up something new to tell. What I'll say about Superman 3 is it was a very new concept. It was approaching things in much the same way that John Byrne's Man of Steel and other things would approach Superman to try and say, how could we approach this? What if kryptonite didn't make him physically weak? What if it made him morally weak? What if someone just had an immense amount of money and they could do whatever they wanted and Superman had no power against them because of the fact that he is on the side of law and justice? He can't just go punch a billionaire just because they're evil.
Oh, yes.
You know, he has to deal with all of the things that he has to deal with. And it's about exploring that deconstruction of the limitations of superheroism in that film, as well as the coming difficulties of having an interconnected universe of information, which had been explored before that, but that was the first time someone put it in the superhero genre and really weaponized that information technology as a concept.
Yeah, but is anyone looking as deeply as like we look? I mean, Batman and Robin could have killed the superhero franchise for even longer, or you know.
No, it couldn't. It was it starred males and was directed by a male. That's not gonna. No one's gonna think.
Well,
that
they could make more action movies, but maybe not
Yeah.
specific superheroes.
Okay, can I just say that 97 was not a good year for superhero movies because you guys keep forgetting about that great masterpiece of crap called Steel and Go.
That's right.
Look,
That's right. We forgot about
Charlie's
it.
going to make an argument that led the way for robot films in the future and people in metal suits. So this was really the beginning.
That led the
of
way
all
for
of it.
Iron Man.
And in the Bible, when Moses was in his metal suit fighting to be Superman, I know it's an old story and antiquated, but it was the beginning of the. Okay, Charlie, did I do it right?
No.
Charlie's so fired up.
That's
Let's get into this little slight issue that he has with indies and so many dang ads on the back.
Okay, yeah. So
Archie in particular.
Well, no,
Archie in particular.
and I'm okay with it because it gives you way more
Possibly
content than say your 24 to 36 pages of standard comic book. I'm just saying.
Here are the two things I have. Okay, first off, so I had a light week. I only had 2 books on pull this week. I had Secret Empire 9, and I had what was the other book that came out this week? Doctor Strange. So I had 2 books on pull. So that gives me a huge budget. So I'm looking, what else am I going to get? Wound up getting Thor Generations, which I thought was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Odin
will sleep with anything.
That's not the point. The point is that the heroes are being sent back to learn something, to learn from their past, the past, and which is why time is askew, because in fact this universe doesn't actually have a past. Yada yada yada. But I also decided, let me pick up an indie. Now I'd been wanting to pick up Superb for a while, which is David Walker's series, and it was out. But I've also been having a love of the Archies. So I went and I looked at the 3 Archie books on the shelf, which was the latest Archie, which is, Betty's dead or something, and Josie and the Pussycats, and Sabrina. And I said, okay, one of these books will be the Archie book me and Lilith can bond over and we can talk about. And I picked them up, and they were so light on stories and so heavy on pages. And they were $3.99. $3.99, same as any other major book or indie book. It's not like indie books are $2.99. And if a book is $2.99, I'll give it a pass. I don't care how many ads you put in there. If you save me that book, I'll say, okay, well, I'm only paying $2.99. But you're going to sit up and say, no, we're going to be just as expensive as any other book, and we're going to have a bunch of pages in the back. Now, all indies do that, as I pointed out. When we count the pages at the end of Superb, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So counting the back page, which in a Marvel book would be an M&M ad, you've got 6 pages of ads at the back. Here's the thing. Lilith said, yeah, Archie has more. I'm saying Archie doesn't have the right to have more. Okay? Because, not for nothing, whereas Superb and its Lion Forge Press really does need to say, hey, look, we have these other books too. Maybe you'd like to read one of them with similar characters in this similar universe. Archie is not an indie book.
No,
Archie is a major comic book publisher. It's there with Dark Horse. It is up there with a lot of. It is bigger than Dark Horse because Archie's been around since the Golden Age. That we can actually say there is a Golden Age Archie. No other person gets to say that. Nobody else gets that backlog of history. You know, there's not a superb cartoon from the 70s that I can go watch, you know, to remind me of the nostalgia that I want to pick up when I pick up an Archie. Back. And then they're going to stick in all those extra pages. I do feel that's a cop-out on their part. I feel that that's rather rude. They should either get rid of those extra pages and lower the price, or not make me pay for their advertisements.
Sure. Are they selling books?
You're not their demographic. Nobody else has a real problem with the art. Like, I don't. Like, I mean, I've been reading it for so long. Maybe I'm just conditioned for it. I like stories. There's so many different levels to the Archie, different Archie books.
Because no one will stand up.
The digest is like way a lot more.
No one will stand up and take Archie to task like Charlie Esser.
But here's the deal, Charlie. She's right. You are not the demographic, okay? You and I are definitely not. You're trying to think of it in nostalgic terms. It's kind of like Scooby-Doo. If they put out a Scooby-Doo book that was kind of our memory of Scooby-Doo and they were targeting us and everything, that would be one thing. They keep trying to reinvent the Scooby universe. They just did it with all the Hanna-Barbera stuff. They had those Flintstone books that were actually good. Now, you're saying
that's actually
$3.99, and I want
also do have a Scooby-Doo, a regular Scooby-Doo that's set in the 1970s kind of universe where they meet up with the Batman and guys from that universe as well.
Right. So, but you're saying they need to have better story and they need to have a better price point. Reality is they're getting that price point, so you're never going to win that argument until they stop. Number two, the demographic that they're shooting for sees it on at Barnes & Noble and goes, Mom, look, I want that Archie book.
No.
And they get it. No, Lilith, I'm right. They are targeting a certain audience. Now, you're an audience that is also part of that, and you don't worry about it being $3.99 because you like the book.
Yeah, I don't have kids. I have just.
And I think the Archie books, I'm not a fan, but I'm not a hater either. They're fine. I know that people that love them. That's great. It's like My Little Pony. I know people that are bronies. They think it's the greatest thing ever. I watched it. I think it's fun, but you would never see me like, I'm going to watch My Little Pony tonight.
Is the entire point of the reinvention of the Archies is to attract a broader audience.
And it has.
Well, it certainly has. But I'm going to give my complaint. Because what I'm saying is I'm a guy who really wanted to get into Archies. But when I got to that point, I'm looking at it and I'm feeling that book and it feels so much lighter and there's not a price point advantage to it. I'm going to say
you weren't the target. They hit the target. You're not it.
Well, I guess so. I mean, that's certainly a possibility. I'm just saying I think that Archie is getting a little too big for its britches on that. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, Charlie Esser taking Archie down. It's a cage match. Charlie Esser versus Archie. Whatever Archie's name is. Archie the redheaded kid.
Archie Andrews.
Archie Andrews and Charlie the Professor Esser. Which one will Betty end up with?
Well, she's in coma now, so that's
is she
pretty poor? Yeah, that's pretty poor taste, Rob. Okay,
I had no idea. So is he with Veronica then? Is he just a jerk? Like, well, I don't have to worry about it. She's in a coma.
No,
is Archie like? Is that the new era of Archie? Like complete bastard?
On Riverdale, it is.
I'll tell you what, I'd read that book, Bastard Archie. Oh, it'd be awesome.
Yeah, but I mean, that's the thing. I just feel that. Here's what I'm gonna say. Like I said, I think 6 pages of ads in the back of your book is an acceptable number. Because I'm not new to this. I read Dark Horse. I read a lot of indie books on occasion. None of it ever really pulled me in to keep me going the way I am with Marvel or certain DC titles. But what I will say is, when you get to that thing where you're getting all these pages at the back that aren't story, I think that it's kind of because here's what I'm going to say. It costs them money to print those pages, which means I basically bought those pages. And if it's not something that's really interesting, you know, it's a little disappointing. You know,
All right,
Bondo has
hold on
a lot of extra
Hold on a
pages,
second,
but you
Shirley.
know,
I got something to say. This podcast is brought to you by Tweaked Audio. Tweaked Audio. Use the coupon code Southgate. Get 30. I'm kidding. Go ahead. We'll put all that at the end.
no, that's fine.
We'll put all of it at the end.
And you know what? Rob?
I'm going to put 7 minutes of it on here.
What I'm going to say is, you got paid for that. I'm paying.
You are delusional if you thought I got paid for that.
Well, what I'm saying is,
now I know
certainly
where
hope we're not giving.
You had a stroke. That's why you like Superman 3, and now you think I'm getting paid?
Well, I certainly hope you're not giving free publicity to someone with no recompensance.
It is an affiliate sponsor, but we never push it.
But my point is that when someone buys an ad, like I said, in Marvel, I'm going to get just as many pages of ads. But generally speaking, there are ads for M&Ms. There are ads for Snickers bars in DC, where they're
double page on the
Snickers,
bottom.
Yeah, Snickers, you are not hostess. You're not going to do that. You're not going to be that. You're not. No one is going to be remembering the Snickers ads the way we remember the Hostess ads. Okay.
Your kids might. You don't know.
Yeah,
they might look back and they'll open it like, "Oh my God, remember these ads?" And you're sitting there going, "Those aren't Hostess ads. Now get off my lawn. Take this Archie book and burn it because I paid $3.99 and I'm mad about it."
Yeah. But what I'm saying is like DC gets paid for those Snickers ads. Marvel gets paid for the M&M ads. They all get paid.
Archie gets paid for their ads.
No, they don't, because they're ads for Archies. That's what I'm saying.
They're not just ads for Archies.
Yes, that's my point. That's my problem with these indie books.
But in the long run,
themselves.
Yeah, but in the long run, are those ads for themselves going to bring in a revenue stream of people buying more books, though?
Yep.
One
Charlie,
can argue.
I can tell you on another podcast, as opposed to like wasting our time with this, but there's a whole philosophy behind that, and actually, I have a lot of thoughts on it. I actually agree with it. Take that, Charlie Esser.
No, that's not. You can agree. You can agree. I'm just saying, when I'm looking for that new book, it's not a selling point. And, and that's the thing. It's like, if your goal as a seller of books is to get new and different people to buy your books, especially when you just did a whole reinvention of your line, you know, then you have to be concerned about, okay, we just did an event. We want to bring people in. When we put out our big cover with the big question mark that's going to make people go, ooh, what's that about? Do you want them to do their thumb through and go, wait a minute, how much of this book is actually just ads for other books that has nothing to do with the story?
Why is Betty in a coma?
Read it and find out. I'm not.
No.
Archie.
See, now you're intrigued, and so was I, and I wanted to get it. And I just felt mad that I wanted to get it, but it's like, can I really justify this purchase on my budget? I only have so many spots. I don't have just disposable income.
I think we picked up a book and like flipped and counted the ads like ever in my life. I think that's a generational thing.
I think we need a weekly segment, Esser Smash, and what got Charlie angry this week.
Yes, maybe, but this was my thing. And here's what I'm gonna say, I didn't notice it when it was Jughead. I really need to go back and see if the Jughead I bought that I really loved had that many ads. I kind of felt that maybe it was just that book that had the extra ads. But like I said, each of the 3 Archie books I picked up all had just a ton of ads in the back for other Archie books.
Yeah, that's just standard.
Yeah, and it just seemed, and like I said, I still picked up an indie book, but some which still had a lot of ads in the back, as is the standard. But it just seemed like Archie had way more than seemed appropriate.
I mean,
it seemed like there was much less story and much more ads.
I get the point where you're saying you're paying for more ads, but like we were talking last night on Super Connectivity, don't you like that better, that all the ads are in the back, so if you want to skip them, you can just skip them?
Well, yeah, but what I was saying before is that, you know, when I was a kid and I read these comic books, and you know, when you back in the 70s when print was a real medium that you could advertise in, you know, you would have, like, you know, every couple of pages there'd be an ad. but you didn't notice it because it was just an ad in the book. When you put all the ads at the back, suddenly it becomes, there's a lot of ads in this book. You know, there's a lot of ads in this book. And it, like I said, if they just had, as I was flipping through, like, so they had the same number of ads, but as I'm flipping through, it's like, oh, look, there's a new Jughead, there's a new Betty and Veronica book, and there's this, you know, there's all these things advertising, I wouldn't notice. But you put them all at the back, and it emphasizes how many ads you're buying. That's my argument. Maybe even less that, you know, it's too many ads than just, it's just really bad placement on those ads.
And do you think it's not so quite, maybe it's not quite as big a deal for them for the ads? Because, I mean, a lot of people probably buy digital now, right, Miss Hellfire?
Not Archie.
No? Oh, they don't do digital?
I'm not aware that they do.
No, because that's the comic that you put at the grocery store that the kids see, and they're like, "Yeah, I want it."
Rob, you're thinking of the Archie Digest books.
Yeah, that's what he's thinking.
It's all the same.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. Not Rob. That's the point. That's Rob. Speaking of people getting off their lawn.
Look, I made him kind of red with that one. That was awesome.
You know, no, this is a different. This is the books that are.
No, I know it's not. It's not the Archie
proper shop.
Digest, right? I know that. I know that.
You know, and you know,
but I wonder if they analyze it, if their target is not the one reading the digital books as much as picking up the hard copy at the comic book store or at the bookstore. I would like to see, where do they buy the book? Because you may be thinking, well, logically it goes all these places, but maybe Barnes & Noble is their number one outlet. And when they try to put it in other mediums, they just don't go. And it's like, well, why cater to these? Let's make it a destination book.
Recently about how, like, every grocery store
but
like you were in magazines, and now they don't.
Right. So I wonder. Boy, you guys talk about Archie a lot. What the
You're
heck?
saying trying to hook it.
It was Littlest Master Plan all along.
Said, Raw, they were trying to hook the younger.
Wait, Phil, I can't hear you.
They were trying to hook the younger generation, but they were trying to hook.
Doesn't it sound like Phil has a stutter every time he starts with?
They go digital.
Yeah. There's a lot of bad internet connections around right now.
It's just so many. Well, Facebook was down. So.
Yeah, I may sound awful too. I don't know, because I can hear myself.
Can you hear me now?
But maybe it's just my content that's bad, not my actual sound quality.
I was going to say, Charlie, I doubt you ever think you sound bad. You love that Charlie Esser.
I do, man.
Real quick question: has anybody read?
No, I said.
Okay, Phil. Hey, you know what, Mel Tillis? That was awesome. There's a joke only for Charlie.
Like I was saying, has anybody read any good books lately?
Yes. I really liked Thor Generations.
No, I mean like book, not a comic book.
Oh, like an actual book?
I read, you know what? It's been a couple of years since I've been able to actually read a full book because I blew my brain out after getting 2 bachelor's degrees. And I couldn't do it. I just couldn't focus on it. Finally, a couple weeks ago, I finally read all through from the beginning, Ready Player One.
Oh, you're prepping for the movie, or you just read it because of the buzz?
I just read it because I knew I bought it a while ago, got the movie coming, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to take it on vacation. It seems like a fun read, and it was an amazing read. It was like it was written for me. It was great. Mm-hmm. Is it great literature? No. We're not going to get into that. Was it a great time? Sure was. And then I watched a documentary right afterwards, not knowing this was going to happen, but I watched the Atari Game Over documentary about the ET tapes being buried in the desert. And Ernest Cline is one of the main characters in the movie, the guy who wrote Ready Player One.
What about you, Phil? Have you read any good books lately? You know where this is going.
Oh, you want me to go right? Yeah, obvious one.
Yes, the obvious one.
Okay, Nightwing, the New Order, number 1.
Real books, Phil.
The Elseworlds Tale, Outlaws Man.
Hey, Lilith, it doesn't matter because we can't hear him anyway.
Either.
Real.
You can't hear me?
A real book.
Yes. So what was your real book, Lilith? What was your real book?
The Orinda by Joseph Boyden. It was $1 at the dollar store, and it was a hardback. So I was just like, yes.
I know you were telling me recently how excited you are that you found out that that dollar stores now sell books.
No, not books, hardcover. Like, I can't believe you can get a hardcover for $1. That's insane. Poor
well, they're not all good books.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you look through them, some of them are not worth that $1, but some of them are really good.
Yeah,
this one was really good.
Oh no! I've gotten my.
If you
kids
find a book by Larry the
books.
Cable Guy, I would not invest the $1. I'm just putting that there.
Yeah, here, 1 second.
When he's not in his Larry the Cable Guy persona, Dana's a pretty good dude, actually.
Yeah, but the Larry the Cable Guy book is not going to be a good one. I'm just putting that out there.
Yeah, this was pretty cool though. So
hold it up. I want to see what the cover looks like.
I don't know if you guys can see it.
Yeah, so it's a good one, huh?
Oh yeah, but I've been hooked back on reading books because Phil and I are doing a book club, and we also it's a little nepotism. It was written by his cousin, but the first two, and it's for our book club, and the episode went up live last night on YouTube. So that's kind of why I'm doing book plugs, to just bring it all back around, and also because our little lovely Southgate Media Group has a book too.
Oh yeah, plug time!
Okay, there we go.
Where are those sound effects, Phil? Yeah, can we talk about it?
Let's talk.
All right, the reason I'm here is not to argue with Charlie, although it sure feels like it. I'm here because we have. Well, I'm gonna talk about two things. So now you open it up, Lilith. First of all, we have a Kickstarter going for a book we have coming out. We have our very own book. It's called Pod Life, and there are people on this podcast who contributed, and there are people who didn't. Charlie,
I'm ashamed.
Yep, you should be.
I am.
The next, that's what I said last time on Super Connectivity. You know what? I understand people are busy. I'm just giving him some crap here. The reality is, I would love to see Charlie write one. When he is ready, he will write a beautiful chapter. So he'll be in volume 2, which is already underway. But none of that happens if we don't get this Kickstarter to actually bring in a little bit of money. We put the bar really low, and I'll explain the book. But let me just throw the Kickstarter out real fast. I put the bar really low. We put it at $800. I know that doesn't seem low to some, but for a project like this, it's really low. Literally, we cut it to the bone. Here's what it will cost to have the artwork done. Here's what it will cost to have it edited. Both groups, both the artists and the editors, cut me huge deals because we promote them and we're like cool with everybody. So we got a hell of a deal to put out something the quality we're going to for $800. Incredible. And we're doing it all ourselves. We're going to publish through Amazon, so it'll be on Kindle. It'll have a regular print copy too. So here's, and then the Kickstarter. Just look up Pod Life or look up Southgate Media Group. You're going to find us. If you go to Pod Life and you find one about like biodegradable housing, that is not what this is. This is the book. It says how they got started, how they got inspired, the stories they have to tell. It's podcasters' stories. That's what you want to look up. So here's the deal. We had this idea to do this book and get stories from podcasters. And Lilith, you can attest to this. All of you guys can attest to this. We sent out a questionnaire basically saying, if you want to write in the book, here are a few questions to get you going. And they were super simple. How'd you get started? What advice do you have? Tell us a funny story. How has it changed your life? Guess which one everybody hooked onto? How did it change your life? Which is amazing. And the very first one we got was from JC LaCroix. Came in right after we had sent this out. I thought we were going to have a pleasant, chicken soup for your soul, for your podcaster soul type of book. And instead, he sends this like emotional, deep, his story is amazing and how it changed his life and how bad things were going. And like, you just read this and you're like, man, I feel for this guy. So I posted it out there to everybody that was writing. And I said, here's an example. Here's what somebody did. Let's all shoot for this. He raised the bar. And the stuff we got back was just beautiful. We got so many great ones. Honest to God, I mean, you guys hear me on here. I don't sound like the most emotional. Hey, I'm going to sit and cry about stuff. Except Superman 4. No, but I read a couple of the chapters and literally started crying. In fact, one of them is Martha's, my wife. I'm reading her chapter, and I'm like, okay, I didn't want to be a podcaster, and this kind of fell into our laps, and it's our family's thing, and blah, blah, blah. And by the end of it, I literally choked up, and she looked at me, she's like, oh, are you actually crying? I totally was. It was awful. It was awful. It's a beautiful chapter. And there are more than one like that. And like, there are so many things in this book. I would prefer sad Hulk music when I leave. I just want to say that. It's beautiful. And it's a book. It transformed from being a book about podcasters for podcasters to being a book for anybody that wants to be inspired, that wants to feel that they can do creative things. The overwhelming story in this that we keep getting is how people hate their voices and never thought they could do it. There's one of them that just won a podcast award the other night. I read through it. I'm like, oh my gosh, if you read this story about how he got going and kind of where it all began, and now Troy just won from the podcast movement. He and Aaron won best TV and film podcast at Podcast Movement this year. But that's incredible. They actually wrote me and said, can we change our chapter just slightly? Because they want to add that they won, right? I urge you, if you like podcasts or if you just want a book that really inspires and is about creativity and humanity, Pod Life is it. But please support it. $5, $10.
Right now.
Yeah.
What number are you at right now?
We are sitting at, we've stalled and it's making me crazy. We're sitting at 306 right now. We have 10 days to go. So we need $500 and that puts us over. And the thing that's crazy is we have hidden stretch goals. The one thing people keep saying, we have 30 different authors in this, right? The one thing people keep saying is, well, don't you have more than that? Yeah, we have 39 in the can right now. But the first stretch goal adds 5 more. So it's like, if you want to see this book that's full, help us get to that goal. Help us get the stretch goal, which is pretty nominal at that point. But we can't do it without support. I feel like I'm on PBS. Here's the deal. $20. If you think you want the book, pledge $20 here. You get a print copy and you get a digital copy. I mean, that's a layup. If everybody writing in the book gave $20, we'd be there, right? We'd be getting there. It's the kind of thing that if you want to support a really cool effort that is completely heartfelt, full of, like I said, creativity, please consider supporting Pod Life. Links will be in the show notes. All right, we can save the other one for later in this because I've got another one I want to talk about.
All right, Phil, are you back?
Yes, I'm back.
He had to change a diaper too. We're not talking about that. This has been brought to you by Pod Life. Charlie hates that.
No, I have no problem with ads so long as they're...
You're so fun to poke at, Charlie.
Yeah, well, you know.
It's
You're the best. Last night I went out with Brandon, who does We Know Games, which, here's a poke at him. They did like 6 episodes and haven't done one in 4 years. But we went out to dinner last night, and his cousin Andy was there. It was I poked at those guys the whole time. It was like my own personal like jackass. I got them fighting. I got them talking about. Oh, it was awesome. I love reaction. So fun.
Robert is a rebel rouser. Now you know.
Yes.
I'm
a reaction junkie.
Phil, was there anything else you wanted to talk about? Put your damn Nightwing book down for one damn week, Phil.
Issue 3 of Carian. Really good stuff. I mean, if you want to get realistic stuff, I mean, evil businessman becomes United States. Hey,
A little too on the nose.
you got a freedom fighter.
Mm-hmm.
You're for fighting the evil 1% people.
Yay! Fight the power.
Trying to think what else I read. Detective Comics.
This is the worst one in a while. Sorry.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to grade it, I'd give it like a D-.
Ouch.
I'm just counting down to 1,000 so I can be out. I told you that's the goal. Out. More money for Archie.
Oh.
She just loves buying all those ads.
I do.
Oh,
I am a millennial. We're very trained for ads. So
Lilith, you don't act like a millennial, though. When we start talking about the demographics, you don't really act like one. You're more like a Generation Y? You fit that mold a little better. That's good.
I don't know.
I fit Gen X. When you start talking demographics, we were talking about, we're like, oh my God. Yeah, we fit that age group, but a lot of and we've got a lot of friends that fit that, but I think about the people I went to school with, they don't fit it at all. What a bunch of toolboxes. But hey, shout out to every toolbox out there. Boom. Support Pod Life. But yeah, when you start talking about the characteristics of those things, you don't fit millennial. I fit Gen X.
I hate
Charlie. I don't know. What are you? Are you the greatest generation, Charlie? I don't remember.
I'm actually, I'm Gen X.
The
I know
Pepsi
you're
generation.
I'm
You
all
fit
you
Gen
young
X
kids.
too, Charlie. From the little I know, from our
Yeah.
interactions, you fit Gen X for sure.
I'm class of '92.
Are you?
Which, yeah, I'm sure Lilith wasn't even born then.
I was.
You know,
Born in '91. Come on now.
At that point, I'm not that.
yeah. You know, every so often I work in HR, so of course, when you're doing I-9 documents, you see everyone's birthday, and I'm looking at people where like they were born 2 years after I graduated, and now they're doctors, and it's like, oh, okay, that's
HR first.
HR, man. Hey, it's my calling.
Then it's the best, but still the worst.
Yes.
That's fine.
We're just trying to help, man. It's not our fault that all systems are bad, and we have to help you navigate every bad system. But that's the curse of HR, man. Is no one has a good system, but you need someone to help you walk through it, and that's what we're there for.
Welcome to
And
HR
then you get
Talk
mad.
with Charlie Esser.
Yes, well, I could talk HR all. Trust me. You think I can talk about comic books? Don't get me started on HR.
I'm sure. Wow. There isn't enough bandwidth.
You, Rob.
What was that?
We're about to wrap it up. So you had another plug?
I got one more plug. Yes. We have another one out there. This is another big project. It is separate from Pod Life. We have an Indiegogo up for the 3rd annual Southgate Media Group podcast marathon.
Our lovely Phil is heading up the YouTube part of that, I heard.
Yes. So there's a live event at the Blue Box Cafe in Elgin, Illinois. It's on October 7th. It runs from 8 a.m. till 9 p.m.
Central.
And yes, Central. We will stream it live on the Southgate Media Group YouTube channel. Part 2 of this, we have, and this is something I was not going to do again this year, but Phil filled me in that we needed to. We are doing a online version too with different podcasts. So rather than having 20 podcasts, we may have like 40 podcasts. I don't know. We haven't got that all lined up yet, but it's crazy. And the content doesn't just go away. It's not like Snapchat. You watch it, you can watch it live. It's a lot of fun, but then we will cut those up and make those into episodes that you'll be able to watch on the various YouTube channels. I'm not sure where I'm going to run that second one. I might run it on Capes and Lunatics YouTube channel. We'll see. It could be a lot of fun to do something like that, something different. So we have an Indiegogo up for this. Now, last year we did a Kickstarter. We did great. We hit 3 stretch goals. It was awesome. We did it specifically to buy equipment to make the event better. All done. In fact, I spent more beyond that to make it even better. Well, this year we put it lower. We set $1,000, but we did an Indiegogo. So whatever we get, we do get to keep. It's a flexible goal. Excuse me.
It's all choked
I
up
need
about
coffee. Yeah, I need coffee is what I need. So with this, it is literally to get, we have Tom Kelly, who's a comic book artist. In fact, get ready. Don't get sick, everybody. I'm going to show you a picture. Can you see that? Can you see his Daredevil?
Yes.
Okay. That's the guy who is doing our poster. And he's awesome. And he's a great guy. And he cut me a great deal to do this. The money from the Kickstarter, from the Indiegogo, goes to getting our poster. It goes to getting flyers done. It goes to the advertising and the PR, the things that cost money that people don't think about. If we go above the 1,000, we can get some other cool tchotchke type stuff. If you can't be at the Blue Box, That may not help you, but the artwork in that definitely can. And we'll have T-shirts and stuff available because of that. So cool, right? Right now, we are sitting at $125. We have 17 days left. We did it as a very short one, though. This one just started a couple days ago. Right away, we got $125, like before I even had hit go. It was crazy. But it's kind of stalled out because we haven't been talking about it. So that's what we're doing. We're talking about it. Go to indiegogo.com, go to Southgate Media Group, or go to 3rd Annual SMG Podcast Marathon. Type in Podcast Marathon. It's going to pop up. It's the only Indiegogo we've ever tried, and I'm starting to do updates. Like I put a couple of videos on from last year. That's one of the things I'm doing today is editing. It's a lot to say I'm going to get 28 hours of video edited and posted today. That's not going to happen. I bend timed it, but that's not going to happen. But it is over the course of the next couple of weeks. We're going to load this up with videos and all sorts of stuff. Now, here's the thing that I have not revealed on any other interview because I've been doing these. Like I'm on like a press tour. It's weird. Here's what I haven't told anybody yet. I am meeting somebody, I think today. I didn't get my confirmation. I just realized who wants to make an actual documentary about the marathon. And this documentary is going to be kind of like what we're doing is trying to structure it like the film for Woodstock. So it's snippets of things that are happening, kind of get the stories, because that's what I'm all about, is the stories of the people doing it. Since it is the 3rd annual, there are a lot of people that have been to all 3. There are people that have been in all 3, and there's people that just have wanted to. Last year, Jack traveled from Florida, traveled from Miami. I didn't even know he was wanting to do this. He said, oh my God, I just want to see this and be part of it. We have more people that are doing that kind of thing this year. So it's just really cool. That's why we need help with this Indiegogo, though. We want to make this the best it can. Because if I can't promote this thing and we're doing all this, it's going to be like, man, we're going to shoot our film and then I'm out. We won't do number 4 because it's very hard emotionally on everybody involved, especially when you can't make it the best thing it can be. So there you go. There's my plug. Capes and Lunatics is going to be on it. So
yeah, we're heading up. Phil, he's heading up to YouTube. I know Phil and I are doing Newcastle Crew and Deadpool.
Raids
right?
World.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'd like to get a super connectivity on there, maybe a regular Capes and Lunatics, and maybe something. I was talking to Tyler, maybe Krypton Report or something else.
Wow, you're eating up half the show. You know what? This week, Phil, I promise you, this week, I don't know what day, number 1, we'll make a sign-up sheet for it so we can start getting that rolling. Number 2, we will get aggressive about getting people involved because I know Fandom Zone loved doing it last year.
Oh, yeah.
These are just ours. I had Golden Spiral, which is another podcast network. I had people from Bald Move that all wanted to be part of it. It just kind of didn't work last year. Let's go after them again. Let's see if we can make it happen. We have people on the marathon. Like I said, I don't remember how many shows that were nominated for podcast awards. And then as long as Troy and Aaron are here, I don't think Aaron is, but I think Troy is, we're going to have the Blacklist podcast here that they do, Blacklist Exposed. This would be their 3rd year running, and they just won Best TV and Video Podcast. So let's bring it, man. I bet we can get Jesse to do Set Listing Bruce.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure. Yeah.
So we can go within our network or we can go out. But it's a great project. Please, please, please support it. Nobody's getting rich off it. But in order to create art, you got to have some funds. And in order for people to hear it, you got to have some funds, right? There you go. I'm done pitching. Want to hear one more? No, I'm kidding. I'm not kidding because I've got more, but we'll go with those 2.
You want to do your social? You want to do your social media?
Yeah, man. You can find out about these. You can follow me on Twitter at @RSouthgate. Follow me on Instagram at @RobSouthgate, where you can also see that cosplay picture, which is awesome. Follow Southgate Media Group. We're on all the different platforms. Find us on Facebook. We post everything there. We have a website also, southgatemediagroup.com, which I am awful about updating. Eventually, we'll do like an Indiegogo for that so that I can hire somebody to help me because, good Lord, that's a lot of work. And we also have blogs and things. Phil is very prolific on there. He's always writing things. We've got blog pieces, and I've started writing for Geeking Out and This Week in Geek on there. So there you go. Plugs are out.
Alrighty, who's next on the plug list?
Well, of course, you can always write to me in that old-fashioned email way, the way our Maz and Paz once did, at superconnectivityblog@gmail.com. That's super connectivity blog, all one word, at gmail.com. And of course, follow me on Twitter as I live tweet Inhumans, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., other things that are coming back soon, one of these days, at Charlie Esser. That's CharlieEesser. Look for the 2 E's in the middle for quality.
All right. Like I always say, if you want to do an interview with us, I mean, look, we snagged the elusive Rob Southgate. Email me, Nightwing
That's
PDP.
quite a get, let me tell you.
NightwingPDP at gmail.com. On Twitter, I am at NightwingPDP. The Capes and Lunatics, capesandlunatics at gmail.com. And hit us up on our voicemail for anything we do here, 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And another plug, Rob mentioned Fandom Zone. Keep your eye out for the next episode 114, I believe, where Karen will have a super special guest host. So keep your eye out for that. Miss Hellfire.
Awesome. So, you can follow me on Twitter at Load Hellfire. I'll probably be tweeting all the Arrowverse stuff from there, so it's probably going to be pretty dormant until October. But for everything else, you can follow me at Adventures in FG. That's Pinterest, Instagram, Facebook, and all those other things at Adventures in FG. And my website, adventuresinfangirling.com. This has been another Saturday spent with
the Capes.
And
now we dance.
Come on, Rob. You gotta
I'm just banging my head.
Do the robot.
Oh, we do that all the time here. Nerd alert. Hey, Tyler, I'm glad he's blacked out here. He's got his pants off. Tyler, stop dancing like that. I like how serious Phil gets when he dances. Let's just put a camera on Phil.
I got to pay for that. Archie is an overpriced so-and-so. Good night.